I think so. Mine's going.
Mine's going too.
We're good.
Okay.
So I'll start off. So, we've talked in the past about hiring you to do consulting work for our company for fixing our computer system at GEII. And so I think I'm hoping that we can figure out some sort of common ground so that we can move forward with this. I know there's some sticking points and everything, but I think that we'll be able to work our way out with some creative thinking.
Sure, most definitely.
So I guess my question to you is kind of how do you think that we could be able to kind of work through this, or if you have any creative ideas to get through the negotiations so that we can come up with some sort of mutually beneficial contract?
Sure, like a service contract for your computers. Yeah. Well, I gotta say, I'm very excited to work with GE. It's a very nice company to work with, and there's all sorts of little pieces within the company that would need some attention and stuff, and that could benefit from my services. So I think it could be a mutually beneficial relationship. As far as negotiating the contract, understanding the mainframe system that you need to, for lack of a better term, evolve.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that we submitted the lowest bid we could without losing money. My company could have about $240,000.
Mm-hmm.
While I'm not excited about doing work at that low of a profit margin, I think working for GE and getting the ball rolling at the contract there, and then we can renegotiate at a later date further as we become more comfortable and satisfied with each other. That's something we can do. So I think that's my path forward.
Yeah, and I think we're excited to work with you too. I think that from what we've seen, I think that you're very competent in that, and we're looking forward to that as well. Just kind of to hash out what we're looking for too is, as you're probably aware that our computer system, we had something put together and it wasn't quite meeting our needs because it's not quite as flexible as we needed. So, what we need is reprogramming, preparation of manuals, and user training over the next certain time. So, that's what we're looking for that. And how many people are at your company?
We have we're a pretty small company, just a handful.
Okay. I'm trying to figure out kind of a solution to figuring out, how we could work this over time, because, there might be something future as we go forward that we can work on, or something like that, that we might be able to put together. So, as you've gone into this, have you noticed anything that that maybe we're not realizing, or something that we need to do as part of this rebuild?
So, you're looking overall for more flexibility, correct? And what I noticed is that the first system that you guys put together, it was, it was all there, it was good, but it just wasn't meeting each specific department's need. There's a lot more customization needed.
Mm-hmm.
And, while it sounds like that's a lot of man hours to reprogram that and tailor it to each specific department's use. I don't have to tell you how big of a company GE is.
Mm-hmm.
Factoring that into account, there's that we'd have to take that into account in any contract pricing here.
Sure. I'm trying to think of if we can spread it out over a certain amount of time or something like that,
Sure.
or if we can do like a retainer or something like that.
So I'm a little confused. I thought we had a done deal with a $240,000 contract.
So that, unfortunately, we don't have that amount of money to put towards this, and so that's why I'm trying to think of creative solutions that could be mutually beneficial, that might, in the end, be better off for you as well as.
Well, I thought the $240,000 was a done deal. This is all brand new news to me. What can you offer me?
So,
are we off by pennies or are we off by mountains? Can you tell me more about the situation, how it came to be?
So I didn't know that we had a done deal.
Okay.
So from my information, I didn't have that. And so, what we've scraped together isn't going to be close to what. What
do you mean scraped together? You're a GE, you're a huge company.
Right, but
you
our division,
resources.
We do, but not our division. So
okay.
That's the thing is like maybe parts of the company might have money to be putting together for that, but we don't have that earmarked for us. So we've been trying to pull it from different areas to be able to get it to where we can currently.
Okay.
But I don't think in the end, I think we'll still be able to figure out something because, that's just kind of a one-parted deal. Maybe that, like I said, maybe there's some sort of retainer that we can do going forward that can keep you around for a longer period of time, and that way it's not just a one-time thing, and over time it might be more mutually beneficial to you.
Sure. Well, this is still news to me, so I guess I'm kind of interested. What do you have any options in mind? What's the top dollar you can offer me right now?
Well, even...
What do you have budgeted for this?
So we have budgeted $120,000.
So half of what I was under the impression we agreed to. I'm a little confused how all of our lines got tied like this, but let's try to make something work here. I'm very frustrated though.
I can understand. I can definitely understand that you're frustrated, and I hear where you're coming from and feeling like you had something set in stone, and I guess from my information I hadn't realized that's how you had seen it, and that's really unfortunate. But I really do think that, as you said, you'd like to work with us, it would be a good fit for you as well as for us to work with you, because I think that you're, top notch for what you guys do. So, and that's why I think that there might be something mutually beneficial going forward if we do something like that where,
sure.
Over time, it might be even more money than $240,000 where we would be able to do something like that.
Can you define over time a little more? Do you have that specificity?
I don't have that specificity.
Okay.
What we could do is a contingent contract, so we would put something together, and then I could go back to my superiors and then find out if we could approve that. But as you know, there's some decent work to do here, and then going forward with training and things like that and manuals that we need help on. So
you're saying there's a long-term need.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying that maybe over a long time, we could work out something that might be a little bit better and advantageous for both sides for us. So
okay. I'm still very frustrated. It's very likely my company will lose money on this. So when I go back and do the books and talk to the accountants and stuff, I'm gonna have to have a pretty good explanation. So we gotta work something out. I guess what's to your favor is that GE is a once in a lifetime opportunity, I guess. So I'm willing to work and note my frustration.
Sure.
But what sort of options do we have in terms of flexibility? And being a smaller company, that's something that we are amenable to.
Okay. I'm wondering what you think might be, if you have an idea of how long something like that might be useful to have for a long-term contract, because you're more familiar with kind of all that technology stuff, probably more so than I am.
Sure. So man hours, we bill a pretty high rate because it's a specialty type project. It's about $80 an hour just for general service and maintenance, working on the manuals, things like that, training. But as far as the general contract goes, you mentioned something about future needs. Is there something we can work into, like a right of first refusal for any further IT projects for you guys? That'll be bid competitively to me.
I think that would not be, certainly that would be contingent because I'd have to get it approved, but I think that that's something that we could certainly look into. I think that would be useful to us as well.
Sure. So, and when we're talking IT contracts, we're talking at least like six figures and above. Like I want to be sure to recoup my costs for the loss that I'm taking in doing this piece of the project.
Do you have any ideas? Have you ever done anything like that before where you sign, 2, 4, 6 years or something like that? Have you ever had experience with something like that?
No, I don't. That's what makes it a little nerve-wracking for me. So it will be a little bit of a process just to execute this contract.
Sure.
So I'll probably have to pay an attorney and stuff to look it over because I mean, it's something that I'm not familiar with, so I want to get someone who's more of an expert at the thing. So
okay. So currently,
I don't want another miscommunication.
No,
like
we
this.
want it all down so we know. So I agree with that because it's not good for both sides.
Correct.
So the $240,000, was your impression that would be upfront, and for how long of a period of time would you be working on this project for?
So I mean, the project time frame was pretty much till it was done and all the systems were chopped up, made more flexible, and reintegrated.
Mm-hmm.
So $240,000 lump sum, and that was at our bottom dollar too.
Mm-hmm.
Usually to more of a mid-sized firm or a general customer for us, we'd build that one probably about 50% higher, so about $360,000
Okay.
or something like that. As far as a time frame for that project, we were looking at in and out about 3-4 months max.
Okay.
And ongoing support, of course, but we think that'd be plenty of time to integrate and get the folks in your department comfortable with the systems.
Okay. Yeah. I'm thinking what if we extended out something like a 2-year agreement or something like that, where we can figure out pricing on something like that over that period of time, that something that would be more agreeable to both sides. Sure. And have that put together. Do you have an idea of what that would be for cost?
Or? 2 or 3 years in advance.
Yeah.
Well, everything's subject to change, but I think just having the value of a right of first refusal. How many IT projects have you guys done? What's the frequency? I want to get a little more of an idea of your needs.
So, being that we're an information company, I mean, this is something that's always changing, and to remain relevant in the market and not do what we did before, I think that's something that's always going to be changing, although it's not something that would be a full-time position, but it's something that, we would need ongoing help on.
Support, okay.
So, maybe we come up with an agreement over a period of time where we have right to first refusal.
Yeah.
And then we go back to our managers and figure out maybe a cost for that we can agree on later too, since both sides are kind of contingent. We can't necessarily decide on our own here today on pricing for something like that. But,
correct, yeah. But I guess from a pricing perspective, I'd want to recoup the $120,000 loss, which is big to me. I'm a small company.
Sure.
Again, and then make some margin on top of that to make my whole adventure with GE, if you will, worthwhile.
Sure.
So, yeah.
I think that would be agreeable. So.
Sure. And again, I want to prove myself successful, that you guys will want to retain me more and more into the future too. But no more miscommunications, and I'm just going to have my attorney look at everything.
Sure. Okay. Well, do we have an agreement for 2 years? Put together something, go back to our superiors, put together some pricing for a 2-year agreement with right of first refusal on that from you guys.
So you mean just for exclusive IT services?
Yes.
For your department? How big is your department again?
I don't have information.
You don't have information on that. Okay. So yeah, I'm a little more comfortable. Just like I said, this is a 3 or 4 month time frame in general for the contract. So it would take me another 3 or 4 months to do another project and break even. It would take me another 8 months or so to make the profit margin to come close to what I was doing before. I'm actually, knowing how a corporate culture can be of some larger companies, I'm actually a little more comfortable requesting a 3-year agreement.
Okay.
I think that works better since you guys might not have that many IT needs too. There's always that risk.
Okay.
So I think 3 years right of first refusal for any IT project. We can let our attorneys go back and look at the language just to be sure that I'm not getting hosed on any project.
Sure. So a contingent.
Because, like I said, yes, a contingent agreement.
Okay. With those benchmarkers so far. So 3 years of exclusive technology support and programming and things like that. So,
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Should we agree to that?
Okay.
I think we have it.
I think so too.